If you have too much dopamine in your body while you talk about your goal to 1,000 people, then your body will start to think that you already achieved this goal and it doesn't need to work on it. The rose is flowering not because of your water or your fertilizer or you planting, it's because of the flow of energy in the universe. By the end of this video, you will learn the 7 mistakes that I made that stopped me from manifesting my dreams. And I will also share with you specifically the steps that you could take to have rapid manifestation in your life. And also the number one mistake that people make in terms of manifesting money. Let's get started. In order for manifestation to work, people have oversimplified this idea. There are books after books written on it that creates the illusion that it just happens like that. That is not true for so many people. So the steps that I'm sharing with you, it is so important, starting with hunger. If you don't have hunger to achieve your goal, it's highly likely you will not achieve your goal. So it all starts with hunger. So there are people, including me, starting with me, who tried to achieve a goal. And I really did not have a hunger, but I thought, this feels good if I could achieve it. And then I kept on visualizing and it didn't happen. So if you don't have hunger, you lost the game already. So start developing this habit of hunger to do more, to do better, to create more value and help more people. If you're in business, to create more value for masses. So let's say we have hunger under control, as in you have hunger, not hunger under control. Then the next step is normality. It sounds like a simple idea, but it's the counterintuitive idea. Most people tell you that when you're trying to manifest something, when you're trying to practice law of attraction, the idea that you will attract what you focus on, what you send energy towards most of the time. When you try to do this practice called law of attraction, which I want to change that vocabulary to something called co-manifestation. That is a vocabulary that I use, and I'll tell you why in a second. But before that, you need to feel that that goal is normal. So if you know Hollywood actors like Matthew McConaughey or Denzel Washington, or people who have won multiple Oscars, one or multiple Oscars, for them, if they are winning an Oscar, it's a normal thing for them. They are excited about it. They're grateful for it, but it's a normal thing for them. Like for an actor or actress who's already extremely successful. So when you're showing overexcitement about your goal, when you're showing over enthusiasm about your future goal, you are telling your subconscious mind, you're telling the universe that you don't deserve this. You're not ready for it. Because it always feel like you are not up to the mark to get to it. Because you're so excited. You got a, award from your district and you cannot even handle that. How could you win Oscar? That is the overexcitement. So we need to control our excitement. I know this is not what normal people say, most people say. I want you to control your excitement and convert that into wonder and curiosity. So one of my clients I was talking to recently, her name is Misty Morrison, and she said, and this might feel like the opposite of what I'm saying. It's not, right? So she manifests her future, imagine her future, so real. And she is like, I'm pinching myself. Is this real? Is it beautiful? Like, this is so beautiful. It's so real. That's wonder. Wonder is not overexcitement. That's a difference. Wonder is filled with curiosity. You're so thrilled. You're so grateful. You're pinching yourself. That is okay. Overexcitement, not okay. It needs to feel normal. So you're pinching yourself in wonder that is so real. It's normal for you, which is a second thing that stopped. So I was like the overexcited type all the time. I was like getting so excited about like future goals and I like share it with everybody. And then my dopamine, your brain has an area called nucleus accumbens that controls the regulation of dopamine. So my dopamine, which is the happiness hormone, let's call it a happiness hormone. And this happiness hormone was activated while I was sharing the goal. One more time. This happiness hormone was activated while I was sharing the goal. Because of that, my potentiality for taking action went down. So I am just mouth actioning, I'm just talking and then doing nothing for achieving the goal. Obviously, the goal did not manifest without an action. We'll talk about action in a second, but I would like you to understand that normality, as in not having overexcitement, over dopamine in our body, while we talk about our goal. Because if you have too much dopamine in your body while you talk about your goal to 1,000 people, then your body will start to think that you already achieved this goal and it doesn't need to work on it. There's no action needed on it. You see that? That is a tricky place where I lost a lot of opportunities at that time. Next one is celebration. Why celebration? Because most of the time, when you're trying to achieve a worthy goal, your brain is like, oh my gosh, do you think I could do this? This is too much. And if your brain is in from that place of, oh, do you think I'm going to succeed or am I going to fail? Succeed, fail, succeed, fail. You are in the paradigm of failure, success, failure, success. So that in order to break through this paradigm of success versus failure, we need to transcend this journey of success versus failure. So for that, we introduce a new thinking into your psyche, into your neurology. How do we do that? We do that by bringing the celebration model. Instead of asking, am I going to be successful doing this? Am I going to fail doing this? You're asking, how am I going to celebrate when I achieve this goal? This might feel like, what's a big deal? Like, that doesn't even make sense. What's the difference there? Here I am saying, am I going to succeed? Am I going to fail? Both are in failure success paradigm. You are still trapped into failure or success. Versus when you're asking, when I am successful, how am I going to celebrate? All of a sudden, it pre-assumes that you are successful. That is a beautiful way to transcend your fear, to find your highest next self. Your job is to find that higher self. Today, you might be a dreamer. You want to achieve a big goal. That doesn't happen just like that. You need to learn to celebrate and achieve your goal. So once you show your brain, your body, your mind, hey, we are going to have a celebration when I achieve this goal. Cool, let's do that. That is the third thing that I missed because I was not a celebrating person. I was like, why celebrate? What's the big deal about it? Just go to the next goal and achieve the next thing and move on. You get tired after some time. The next is gratitude. I know you might have heard about gratitude from 1,000 people. You might be already writing gratitude journal and so on and so forth. But see this slightly differently. I'll show you a different view about gratitude. So when I talk about gratitude, you are pre-grateful for achieving your goal. Pre-grateful for achieving your goal. Imagine that you achieved your goal already and you're grateful ahead of time that you already achieved the goal. So if you're able to be grateful for the goal that you are about to achieve, pinch yourself in gratitude, then you're ahead of the game. There's one more thing that you could do. There are goals in your life that you achieved that you probably were not grateful for. Maybe you forgot about it and you're like, that's not a big deal. It's not that you are ungrateful to universe or God. It's that you probably are ungrateful to yourself. What does that mean? It means that you're like, what's the big deal about it? I do this normal. I want 3 Oscars. I'm like, one more. I made $100 million. Okay. What's the big deal? Money is nothing anyway. I thought I was going to be happy, but I'm not happy. I bought this fancy car. It's a big deal. That underestimates it. It kills the hunger. It goes back to hunger, right? It kills the hunger. And then we are like, what's the big deal? The moment we lose gratitude, we lost the magic of life. So if you have experiences where you achieved a goal and you did not celebrate and show gratitude to yourself, if you had a goal that you achieved but you did not contribute and you did not give back to community, this is the time to fix it. Figure out, look for the goals that you achieved in the last 10 years and retroactively go ahead and pay and earn that victory. How do you do that? You pay in advance. For example, you go find out the goals that you achieved that you didn't contribute to, set that intention in mind and go give to somebody. Give a gift to a homeless person, right? Or give food to somebody or educate, like help them with somebody's education. And then earn the past victory that you already got. Earn it. You got it. Let's earn it now. And once you earn that, everything is going to change. So earn it in the universe by contributing, possibly with somebody like a family member or friend or your loved one or your lover. That is, you earn in the universe. Also earn in your psyche, because your mind worked so hard to achieve this goal. Your body, your brain worked so hard to achieve this goal. So reward it by celebrating you, your brain, your mind, by celebrating. Maybe it's a small gift, something to motivate the inner elephant inside of you. Okay. So that's the celebration. So that is the celebration through gratitude. So you're grateful to yourself, grateful to God, you're grateful to yourself. That's where I'm grateful to the people who worked with you. So in that gratitude, magic will happen. Next 3 are the most important ones, and especially the next 2 are like so critical that stop me from moving on to the next level. Deserving. In order for you to achieve a goal, if you're trying to manifest, just by believing and seeing it as happening, it might not happen unless you feel you deserve this victory. What does that mean? I know I deserve my victory, but there are situations where we have shame about who we are, what we want, or guilt about what we did or what we failed to do. So because of this shame and guilt or envy about other people having something, so envy is something like you are conveying to universe. Pay attention to this. Through envy, you are letting the universe know that you don't deserve the success they have. One more time. Through envy, you're letting the universe know, I don't think I deserve this. Think about it. As we move on, we might not feel we deserve to win. So it sounds crazy, but it's a form of self-punishment. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to get this opportunity. You don't deserve to win in life. You don't deserve to move on to the next level. You don't deserve it. And once, I'm not saying you don't, I'm saying we say that to ourselves. And through this self-talk, through this self-conversation, what we do is, even if we do everything right, you might still not co-manifest. Now, let me talk about co-manifesting instead of law of attraction. Law of attraction implies that you are attracting whatever you want into your life. I don't believe that. I believe this is more of a collaboration between your soul and the bigger soul, universe, God. So in other words, it's a manifestation together done with the universe. You are planting the like rose, and you are pouring water and you're putting the fertilizers, the organic fertilizers, but it's ultimately universe, God, that grows the rose. And the rose is flowering not because of your water or your fertilizer or you planting, it's because of the flow of energy in the universe. And we need to accept that. The moment we accept, the moment I accept that, I have a sense of humility that it's not about me. My job is to be the paint that universe is using to paint a Picasso, to paint a Van Gogh, or paint a Michelangelo, paint a Sistine Chapel. So your job is to be the paint. What does a paint do? Paint waters the plant. Paint fertilizes the plant. Paint show up to be ready to be painted in a frame. And once you show up like that, then everything becomes magical. At that point, there is a sense of humility that it's not about you. At the same time, there is a sense of confidence that you deserve to be the paint because it's a gift to be a paint. Imagine being a paint in a Picasso. Imagine being a paint in Sistine Chapel. That is a privilege. Life is a privilege like that. Just because you're listening to me, you are alive. And because you're alive, you became a pain just by the fact that you're alive. So if you're alive, since you're alive, you are a pain too. So allow yourself to be brushed into creativity. And allow yourself to feel that you deserve to be this paint. And the moment you start thinking that you are the brush, oh, I do the painting. The moment you think that you are the painter, then you lost the game. We don't want that. We want to be connected with humility. I want to be connected to humility as I am achieving this goal. That's how it stays sustainable. And you might be able to continue being successful even if you're not connected to humility, but you might not be fulfilled. That's my journey. So I wanted to start to acknowledge my pride first before I talk about yours, to let you know that this is my learning through my journey. And I am encouraging you to go through the journey of humility. And starting with me, let me be the example. And as a team, we could sustain and achieve more and stay fulfilled. And so I would let you learn from my pride so you don't need to go through that. Next one is gestation. So I wanted to buy ever since I came to US 2007, I wanted to buy a Lexus, especially the biggest car from Lexus at the time, which was LS 460. So it's kind of a fancy car, at least for me at the time. And I wanted to buy it, and I visualized and I kept on visualizing it, and I was able to buy it. And I recently sold that car too. Same thing, similar period. When I came to the US, I wanted to get an MBA from Harvard. So it's kind of an ambitious goal. And I worked really, really hard for it. I did most of these protocols that I'm sharing with you. But I had my picture painted with me walking in Harvard, all kind of things like that. Everywhere I look, all I'm seeing is Harvard. I had like this, that, and I'm studying for GMAT and everything. My thing was like, if I just get into Harvard, then I could make $100,000 after the MBA. That's the average salary at the time for an MBA. Just feels less now. Anyway, so I kept on visualizing. At the end of it, when I got my GMAT score, it was horrible, extremely horrible. Probably I got below 600, maybe 550 or even 560. It's very bad. If you wrote a GMAT, you already know this. Or if not, it is very, very bad. So I worked really hard. I'm like, visualize everything, but it didn't happen. So sometimes we might not have the skills to achieve certain goals. Sometimes if I want to be a singer, if I want to be a famous singer, it's not going to happen. No matter what I do, It's not going to happen. If you plant a mango tree and expect it to give you jackfruits, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. There are some people who might be able to do it, extremely, extremely rare people because of their extreme faith. But that's not for normal people like us, right? Ordinary people like us. For me, it is very difficult to manifest jackfruit in a mango tree. Making mangoes in a mango tree, manifesting it, it's somewhat easy, right? So that's why if you don't think that, logically you are fit for it, and at that time you'll be like, no, 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 no. Everybody told me I shouldn't be logical. I should allow my imagination to flow. But there is a underlying logic to it. For example, if I were to say that I want to start an Amazon, an online shopping company, and it will sell books first, and then it will become the biggest online shopping network in the world. It's not going to happen. It's already done, right? Somebody already did it. So if you have a new idea, you think it's worthy of pursuing, and then you have a unique dream, and then you kept on doing it, that's a different game. Do you understand what I mean? So I don't want you to like, I'm gonna compete with the online business. I'm gonna compete with Amazon and beat them. I mean, there are companies like Temu and other companies coming from China and trying to compete with Amazon. I understand that, but at the same time, I would like you to understand that there are physical limitations. If I want to grow to 10 feet tall and try to manifest it, it's probably not going to happen. I never tried it. It's not going to happen. Do you understand what I mean? Humans don't have 10 feet in height, right? It's not going to happen. So like that, there are things that are not going to happen. Accept that. Accept that. It's not because God doesn't want you to happen. I'm like, I want to be 10 feet. Oh God, why are you not helping me to be 10 feet? What's wrong? What's wrong? I really wanted to be 10 feet. So I could paint the top of the house without staying on a ladder. Not going to happen. Right? Instead, try to achieve goals that are possible. I'm not limiting your goal. I'm not saying that you people who come to me say they want to build billion-dollar companies. People from my team have built billion-dollar companies. So with a B, not M. But not everybody is going to build that. We only have 3,800, 3,900 something billionaires in the world. It's extremely highly unlikely that you and I become billionaires, right? It's extremely highly unlikely. But is it possible? Probably. I'm not asking you to reduce your dream or bring your dream down or anything like that. I respect that, but I want you to know the probability, actual probability of something happening. Second thing on this space is gestation. In the space of gestation, so gestation is you should give enough time for the goals to achieve. So there are people who might actually build big companies. And the beautiful thing is I work with companies like that to grow 10x and grow to the next level. And you might be one of them who will actually grow a big company, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe in a billion-dollar company. And I was fortunate enough to work with companies doing more than $100 million. But if you have a dream like that, please don't try to do it in 1 year, 2 years. Make it a 10-year goal. Unless, again, you are ChatGPT. There are exceptions to everything. Unless you are Google, unless you are Amazon, which you are highly likely not, try not to achieve your goal in 6 months. There are people who come to me and say, I want to build a company. I want it to be a billion-dollar company in like 3 years. It's highly likely it's not going to happen. Okay. So understand the reality of gestation, which is in order for a human baby parallel for that is like, oh, my wife is pregnant. I want the baby to come out in 2 weeks. I am manifesting for it. I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. We don't want the baby to be aborted like sooner. So Make sure that give it the 9 months and a few days, right? So the point is, give it enough time for you to achieve this goal. And finally, that brings me to the most important point, which is action. And then let me talk about the mistake that you make about money, and then I'll tell you, give you a protocol, and we'll conclude the conversation. So here's the thing about action. There are so many dozens, if not hundreds of books on law of attraction. Most of them don't mention taking action. I want you to visualize taking action. If you are visualizing a goal, that visualization must include you taking action. This is one of the biggest mistakes business owners make, dreamers make in terms of achieving their goal. They think that, hey, if I could just manifest the car, the Mercedes could crash into my garage obviously without breaking my garage door, that would be ideal. Why do I need to take action? Oh, if universe can manifest without me taking action too. It never works that way. Please, if you do, like in India, there is a saying, you do half, God does the half. I have a say, you do full, God does the full. You be the paint and show up ready to be painted, and God will paint. And you don't say like, oh, I don't need to do anything. I'm just completely trusting it to God. So in Eastern side, there is a saying, Eastern bloc, there is a saying, trust in God and tie the camel. So they have a lot of camels laying around at the night. And they're like, somebody was asking, hey, if God is supporting us, don't you think the camel will stay? No, camel doesn't know that, they have to stay or God is protecting. You have to tie the camel. You have to trust in God and tie the camel. Otherwise, the camel will go its way. The same way, you have to trust and take the action that is required. You don't need to probably do overworking, but you still need to do hard working. You need to work really hard to achieve this goal. So these are the 7 things. So hunger, normality, celebration, gratitude. You need to feel deserving. Gestation. You need to give enough time. And finally, action. So if there are things that you try to achieve that did not happen, these are the 7 reasons why, as far as I know today. Now, there are things that you achieved that you did not celebrate or contribute because of that. It's time to pay the debt to universe, to yourself. How do you pay the debt to universe? By retroactively contributing for your victory. The victories that you had in your past. Tell universe, you know what? I'm giving this, and this for all my victories there. I'm giving it back to you. Please support me in my future endeavors. And same thing you're paying yourself by gifting yourself multiple small celebrations. Achieve that goal. I never celebrated. Thank you so much for your support, my brain, my body, my mind. Hey, I'm taking you to a vacation. And you retroactively celebrate your past victories. Once you do that, then you're ready to start manifesting. So how do you manifest? So first of all, how not to manifest. So I wanted to share this with you that in my experience, and I might be wrong about this, you cannot manifest money. Money is like picture of dead people, right? Like you have dead people sitting in pictures. That's what money is, right? So you don't want to manifest money. If you try to manifest dead people, somehow dead people don't show up, right? If you want money, manifest giving value. So money is a tool that stores value. It's a value storing paper. So the paper stores some value and the value keeps depreciating, which is a different conversation. But money is a store of value. So if money is a store of value, imagine that even if you're employed, uh, I mean, as a business owner, definitely, you're giving value to people and collecting money in return. That's what you do, right? So you're giving value to people and collecting money in return. So if you want money, instead of manifesting money, even if you're an employee, imagine that you're providing more value to your company, more value to another company. So instead of trying to manifest money, manifest giving value. And all of a sudden, you will deserve getting the money back for it. Interesting? You got it? Okay. Now, before I give you the specific steps, I want you to understand the power of love. What is the power of love? People in the manifestation space, in the law of attraction space, talk about gratitude. And I am extremely grateful for the idea of gratitude. That being said, the biggest force in the universe is love. Love is the biggest force in the universe, biggest power, the highest frequency in the world. If love is the highest frequency in the world, you have access to this highest frequency whenever you experience love. And whenever you experience love, you become fearless. Love helps you to be fearless. So when you experience love, you become fearless. Is there fear in love? Yeah, because we have fear, we bring fear into our love. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you experience love, you become fearless for that moment. Makes sense? Your mom loving you, your husband loving you, your wife loving you, your child loving you, you being loved by God. Whenever you experience love, you become fearless. Our goal in manifestation, in co-manifestation, is to create moments of fearlessness or fear-freeness. So we need to be free from fear for a moment. That moment, you become so connected to universe that is when universe is going to conspire for you. The notion that universe will conspire for you to achieve your goal, it's somewhat true. Why somewhat true? It is true only when you are one in with universe. When you are away from universe in fear, when you are separated from universe in universe's power and fear, then universe is not going to conspire for you. There are so many people trying to imagine their stuff and achieve their goal. But you become fearless, all of a sudden, you create an environment where you can be in universe and allow universe to conspire to achieve your goal. So that is the power of love. The same is the power of gratitude. So you need to learn the power of gratitude and love. And then there is the final point called pre-victory, and then I'll go show you the techniques. Pre-victory is if you're already successful, imagine that you're already successful, then your probability of winning is higher, right? If you already made, let's say, $1 million, growing that $1 million into 10 million, it feels easier than starting and making the first $1 million, right? The same way, if you are already successful in life, then you can stack success. For that, you need to see yourself as already successful. You need to condition your brain that you're already successful, which you are. The fact that you're born out of trillions of sperms, you are the one who are picked to possess life, to be able to listen to English and understand, to being able to live in a time where you have media that you could listen to this from somewhere in the world. It shows that you're already successful. So I would like you to become a treasure hunter of success. Become a treasure hunter of success. Imagine that you have a land with a 2-acre land. And then some of those portions of the land has diamonds. In some portions of the diamond, you have fishes. Which one do you pick? Oh my gosh, what a difficult decision. Do I take excretion from an animal or a human and pick it? or do I pick diamonds? Here's the thing, my friend. I have been picking fishes for decades because my brain is conditioned to pick up the fishes and then keep it in memory. And I keep remembering my failures and keep remembering my shortcomings. I keep remembering the times when I was rejected. I keep remembering the success that didn't fulfill me. I keep remembering all of my failures, and I keep remembering and remembering and collecting a species collection in my brain. That didn't help me either. Instead, I start choosing to collect the tiny diamonds, tiny victories in my life, which I'll show you how to use today. And once you start collecting these tiny victories from the first decade of your life, the second decade of your life, the third decade, if you're older than 30, fourth and the fifth decade of your life. When you start collecting the experiences where you felt loved from the first, second, third, fourth decades of your life, the experience of where you felt gratitude through your victory from the first, second, third, fourth, fifth decades of your life, the experience where you were victorious in these decades of your life, then you're setting yourself up for winning this game of business and life. That's what we want for you. That's what I want for you. I'm sure that's what you want too. So I would like you to become that treasure hunter that looks for loving experiences that you felt, looks for grateful experiences that you felt, look for victories that you felt. So I'm going to take you to a protocol right now. So walk with me, experience this with me. Maybe close your eyes and do this with me. We'll start with a past experience. So imagine experiencing deep love from your childhood when you were young. And see that you took an action and then you achieved a goal. So in the past, you took an action and you achieved a goal. See that you did that. And start feeling grateful for it. This is a goal that you achieved. It could be a small goal, small thing that you did. Winning a 100-meter race at a high school or winning a basketball game. It could be a very, very simple thing. Feel grateful, deeply grateful for it. And grateful to the level which you pinch yourself and you feel good that you achieved that beautiful goal. See how you contributed because of that goal. Maybe you pat somebody on the shoulder, or maybe you did something to contribute back to the universe. See that you contributed because of that. And if you haven't, let's go back and contribute to somebody and earn that. And celebrate that you achieved this goal and feel good about it. Okay. How does that feel? Now, who are you celebrating with? Who did you celebrate with? If you haven't already celebrated, go back and retroactively celebrate for achieving this goal from your childhood, from when you were young. And now stay hungry for the next goal. Stay hungry because you ate in the morning and you are going to eat at lunch and then you're going to eat the dinner too, right? The same way, you're hungry to achieve the next goal. And then imagine experiencing love again. Experience love again from your childhood or from your mid-20s. And then imagine taking an action, achieving another goal from the past. You took an action. It might be a little bit tricky to do the first time, but from tomorrow, you'll be fine. You will know exactly what to see. See a past action that led to another goal. Feel grateful for it. Grateful, so much grateful that you're pinching yourself in wonder, in awe. How did you contribute when you achieved this goal? Who did you contribute to when you achieved this goal? How did you celebrate? Or how are you going to celebrate because of this past goal achievement? Who are you going to celebrate with? And finally, stay hungry for the next goal. That leads us to the third goal, probably from your 30s. If you're younger than 30, find another goal that you achieved, pick that up and experience love. Experience taking action for this goal. And you achieved this goal in the past, the third goal in the past. And you feel pinch-worthy gratitude. Pinch-worthy gratitude. And then how did you contribute to universe, to God, when you achieve this goal? Who did you contribute with? Who did you contribute to when you achieved this goal? Achieved this goal. How did you celebrate when you achieved this goal? Who did you celebrate with when you achieved this goal? And stay hungry for the next goal. Now see the future goal. We are about to transition to the future goal. Experience all the love from the first goal, the second goal, the third goal, all the love together. Collect all of them together and experience total love in your heart. Experience, maybe even drop this experience into your heart. Drop it into your heart. Experience into your heart and see yourself taking action for the future goal. Intelligent action for achieving this future goal. And the future goal is achieved and you are grateful for it. And you feel grateful. You're pinching yourself for achieving this future goal in wonder, in awe. And how are you going to contribute when you achieve this goal? Who are you going to contribute to when you achieve this goal? Who are you going to contribute with when you achieve this goal? There is a concept of act as if, which is sometimes misinterpreted, but I'll give you my version of the interpretation, which is how can you pre-contribute for achieving this goal? For example, if you're going to feed 1,000 people when you achieve this goal, can you feed 10 people tomorrow? Act as if that you have already. Contribute as if you have already achieved this goal. Celebrate as if you already achieved this goal. And stay grateful. Pinch yourself and stay grateful and contribute. Can you pre-contribute for achieving this goal sometime tomorrow? A tiny thing that you could do. So you earn from universe in advance for the goal that you're about to achieve. How are you going to celebrate when you achieve this goal? Who are you going to celebrate with when you achieve this goal? Since you achieve this goal, can you pre-celebrate achieving this goal? How can you if you're planning to go to Bali, when you achieve this goal, can you go to the next neighborhood and spend some time celebrating, or go out for dinner for pre-celebrating this goal? And finally, stay hungry for the next goal. So see that you have already achieved this goal and see that you are already grateful for it. See that you are already celebrating and contributing and possibly create a pre-celebration and pre-contribution. This goal is for you to achieve. I look forward to seeing you in your highest next self. Every person who succeeded in their business, went to the next level, is a person who stayed in their past self and they transitioned. They figured out, just like you are doing right now, they learned how to figure out and adapt to their new self and became their new self, the new successful self. That's what you did today. And let this be a journey of 1,000 miles that started with one step. See you next time.